Top 10 lowest currencies in the world. The world's most powerful currencies have been the subject of countless articles and discussions, which we have all read and heard. The most recognized currencies in the world include the British pound sterling, the United States dollar, the Swiss franc, and the euro, amongst others. Ranking the least valuable currencies in a certain order becomes more and more challenging. The rapidly shifting economic circumstances of the nations that issue it are the cause of this issue. Economic hardships are typically the main factor causing these to be ranked as the world's cheapest currencies. These setbacks cause the balance of payments to go into deficit and the inflation rate to increase. The nations that issue these currencies enjoy a high level of financial security. Nonetheless, there are several nations whose currencies are quite vulnerable. In the following video, we are going to discuss the various currencies. So let's start. Number 10. Ugandan shilling. The East African shilling was the official method of payment in Uganda, Kenya, Tanganyika, and Zanzibar before the introduction of the Ugandan shilling in 1966. The East African shilling was replaced by the Ugandan shilling. This day sees the circulation of banknotes with denominations of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and 50,000 respectively. It is essential to make a note of the fact that the Ugandan shilling is a reasonably stable currency in comparison to the other currencies that are included on the list of the cheapest currency in the world. Throughout the last few years, the value of the Ugandan shilling has not dropped by more than 5%. Number 9. Cambodian riel. The Cambodian riel, which is the currency of the monarchy-ruled state of Cambodia in Southeast Asia, is one of the currencies that stands out on the list of the least expensive currencies in the world. This currency, which was introduced in 1995 to take the place of the Indochinese piastre, at first had a more favorable exchange rate. At the time it was introduced, the Cambodian riel was not well received by the Cambodian people, who favored the usage of international currencies instead. Even in modern times, the majority of their transactions are conducted in US dollars. As a consequence of this, the value of the Cambodian riel has continued to significantly decrease. Number 8. Paraguayan guarani. Paraguay is the second poorest country in South America and has suffered horrible economic failures, disastrous inflation, wild corruption, low-quality education, and significant levels of unemployment in recent years. The value of the Paraguayan guarani suffers considerably as a result of the low levels of economic growth that are prevalent in this country. Both soybeans and cotton are shipped out of the country as exports. On the other hand, the money that is made from these exports hardly comes close to covering the high cost of the things that are brought in. As a direct consequence of this, the Paraguayan guarani is consistently ranked among the least expensive currencies in the world. Number 7. Uzbekistani som. In circulation since the 1st of July in 1994, the modern Uzbekistani som was first introduced. By the decree of the President of Uzbekistan, the issuance was carried out at a rate of 1 som for every 1,000 som coupons. Uzbekistan's monetary policy has been liberal ever since the 5th of September 2017, when it was first implemented. As a direct consequence of this, the rate of exchange for the Uzbekistani som against the United States dollar has been determined to be $1 equals 8,100 UZS. For the sake of this exercise, we used a rate that was around 8,8150 Uzbekistani soms to $1. Number 6. Sierra Leonean Leone. The extremely low standard of living in Sierra Leone makes the country extremely vulnerable to a variety of challenges and difficulties. Because of the country's extremely low level of both economic and social growth, the value of the currency has been steadily decreasing for a good number of years. Because this nation has been put to the test on so many different fronts, the value of the national currency will inevitably fall. The recent conflict that took place in Sierra Leone contributed to a further devaluation of the local currency, the Leone of Sierra Leone. The devastating Ebola virus, which has been re-emerging in Sierra Leone for an extended period, also contributes to the country's deterioration as a whole. Number 5. Lao or Laotian kip. The Laotian kip is the only currency on the list of the most inexpensive currencies in the world that has not seen a devaluation. Because this currency was the only one that was first distributed at a very low rate, it has been the only currency to suffer from a very low exchange rate for a significant number of years. The Laotian kip has not been able to gain value relative to the value of the US dollar ever since year 1952 when it was first issued. Despite the existence of this fact, the value of this money is gradually increasing over time. Number 4. Guinean franc. The Guinean franc is the country's primary financial instrument, and it is widely regarded as one of the world's most overvalued currencies. Guinea is a nation in Africa that has been struggling with depreciation of its currency for a significant amount of time. The nation also has a high rate of inflation, rising levels of poverty, and an abundance of criminals. Natural treasures such as gold, aluminum, and diamonds can be found in astonishingly high quantities in this country, making it one of the most fascinating places in the world. Given the abundance of these resources, the monetary system ought to be highly valued. Unfortunately, this is not the situation. Number 3. Indonesian rupiah. As a response to the depreciating value of older style banknotes, the decree of the president dated September 5, 2016, which released new banknotes, had a total of 7 different denominations. Their values ranged from 1,000 up to 100,000 rupiah each. Even though Indonesia is a prosperous and economically stable country in Southeast Asia, the rupiah has an extremely low exchange rate. The regulatory authorities that are active in the country have been working to strengthen the national currency by putting into effect all of the available measures. However, up until this point, all of the efforts have only resulted in little, inconsequential modifications. Number 2. Vietnamese dong. The Vietnamese dong is now the second most affordable currency in the world. The transition from a centrally planned economy to a market economy in Vietnam has not yet been completed in its entirety. The consequence of this is that the Vietnamese dong has the lowest value of any currency. It has been severely undervalued in comparison to other currencies around the world, and its exchange rate is currently one of the lowest among all countries except Iran. On the other hand, those who are knowledgeable in topics about currencies assert that the government of Vietnam is making progress on the right route to growth, and will soon catch up to its neighbors in Asia. The Vietnamese dong won't even make it onto the list of cheapest currencies in the world very soon. Number 1. Iranian rial. The value of 1 rial in Iranian currency is the lowest of any currency in the world. It has the most favorable exchange rate to the USD. The phrase toman is frequently utilized by Iranians to facilitate the process of arithmetic. 1 toman equals 10 rials. The decline of the Iranian rial can be attributed to several factors, including the war that was fought between Iran and Iraq, the dangers that exist over the possibility of nuclear war, and the threats that threaten Israel. Because of this, actions such as restricting Iran's access to the world market were put into effect, which ultimately resulted in substantial economic losses for Iran. Iran was a major exporter of oil. However, the country was prevented from selling its oil due to international sanctions. This resulted in an important shortfall in Iran's national budget once again. The culmination of all of these developments resulted in the Iranian rial losing its position as the currency with the lowest value. The United States of America and the European Union removed certain sanctions against Iran in 2016, which led to an improvement in Iran's economic status and the stability of the rial. So, do you like this video? Give your answer in comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.